Bueno, hello everyone. So I am Magali de Jager. I am Belgian, living in Barcelona since 2019. Before that, I used to live in Copenhagen for 2 years, and then before in Brussels, which is where I studied business engineering. And in the last 10 years, I've had experience as management consultant, head of operations, project manager, also on both business and technology transformations. Today, I am here representing VP and vpTech, the tech organization, as I work there as tech portfolio director. So technically, it means that I support the organization in translating the business strategy of the company into tech roadmaps and making sure that we actually deliver those roadmaps over the coming years. As work is nice, but not everything, I'm also very passionate about sports, outdoor activities, especially kitesurf, but you would also find me doing yoga, fitness, and hiking. As I'm working from home, I thought it would be very rude not to introduce my colleague, Billy, which also has a big passion for outdoor activities. And during the day, her experience is more napping. So I'll spend a little bit of time explaining the business of VP, a few key figures, key dates, not too long. If you have any more information request on this, don't hesitate to go to the booth where we'll be to answer some questions afterwards. And then I move to the talk part. Okay. So what is VP? It's one of the biggest European flash sales websites. So concretely, what we do is that we have a partnership with brands where we recover their stock that we want to sell on our platform through online flash sales. We call it flash sales because it's sales that last, for example, up to 5 or 7 days, and they have a very limited stock and attractive price, as we do discounts from up to for up to 70%. Okay, for the members, we offer what we call the pink experience. So it's kind of a colorful, playful website where they can find their top brands at a very affordable price. And for the brands, what we offer, well, visibility, first of all, on our website, which has a lot of members. I'll go to the numbers afterwards, as well as traffic redirected to their own shops. And well, a possibility, an option for them to reduce their own stock through our platform. Okay. On the timeline, the key dates, I selected four, which I think are important to show the transformation that VP has been doing in the last years and where we are at now. So in 2001, Jacques-Antoine Grandjean launched in France ventprivé.com, which was one of the first startups in the bubble of the internet. The concept at that time was very innovative. As I just said, we sell limited selection of top brands, short period of time, and heavy discount. Okay. Then everything goes on, and in 2015 and 16, there is a desire to expand through acquisitions. So here what we see is an acquisition of stakes in ventexclusive.com, which opens shop in Holland, Belgium, and Luxembourg, and acquisition of Privalia in the south, so Spain, Italy, Mexico, and Brazil. Finally, also e-boutique in Switzerland, and I cannot fully pronounce it, but I will start with the beginning, Zloty in Poland. Okay. From then on, the companies that have been acquired operate rather autonomously. We share sales together, we share some things, but we all still have three platforms that we are working on. Okay. In 2019, we start a new phase, a new chapter where the group of VP actually decide to really operate as a group. First of all, by changing from Vente Privée to VP in our name. We become really a European group with the mission to have one platform, one way of working, and one vision for all. Okay. Starts in 2019 and it finished in January 2022, where we can now officially say that the convergence of the platforms has been done. The North has joined us the last, and we are now one group of platform, which means the full tech organization is now focusing on delivering the needs of a group business instead of delivering several times the same need on different platforms. On the key figures, just to give you kind of a feeling of the size and the magnitude of the volumes that we are handling at VP, We have around 4.5 million unique visitors per day in our 10 countries, a total of 66 million members, 7,000 partner brands to manage, and a net volume of business of 3.8 billion euro. Okay. On a daily basis, we ship around 120,000 parcels from our 8 warehouses. And then, I don't know, just another number, 128,000 transactions per day. So those volumes require a strong and robust platform to be handled, which explains that from our 5,000 employees, 20% are actually in tech, where we build not only the future, but also maintain and ensure that we can always handle the volumes now and the scalability of those volumes. So now, because my role in the company and also my experience has always been to help implementing strategies and ideas and executing, making sure that we actually achieve what we planned to do, I thought that I would take the opportunity of today's talk to share with you a few advices on that. And I hope it will be useful. So, we are all spending a lot of time brainstorming and thinking about strategies, innovations, visions, ideas. And it's great, it's super important, it's actually the first step to achieving anything. So, first, you have to think about it. But then, thinking and speaking about ideas don't make it come true. Okay. And that's the hardest part. And well, the whole point of this presentation is how to make innovation strategies, visions, and ideas come to life. So maybe for the next few minutes as I go through the presentation, I would recommend that you take a piece of paper and you think about an idea, a concrete idea that you have for the moment, that you thought about, maybe I should do that, I should be implementing this. And as we go through the presentation, well, you can write how that works for your own idea. A few examples because it can be many different things. You're thinking about a new app to answer a market need. Well, that's an idea. No? Or you're more a UX designer and you're thinking about a new feature to improve customer retention, customer acquisition. You are on the sales and you're thinking about a new market that you can open to increase your revenue. Or, well, let me think more of a personal one. And actually very relevant here, you think of becoming a UX designer, a developer, or an athlete, an artist. Well, anything can work, whatever you're thinking, and dream big. Let's go through it. On my side, I'll take as example the convergence, which I mentioned happened between 2019 and 2022. And I will use that to illustrate a little bit the different steps and advices of this presentation. So the convergence, just to put it again here, 3 years. So I was asked to coordinate a project which took 3 years to converge 3 regions, brands, visions, processes, and platforms into one. We speak about business processes convergence. We speak about technical convergence, platform robustness, Italy, Spain, Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg. Payment methods to integrate, vouchers to migrate, members to migrate, testing, training, change management, transformation of the organization, incident management, maintaining our SLAs, well, having flexibility on some marketing requests, integrating, for example, the marketplace for new countries, well, integrating carriers, warehouses. I mean, just you can imagine my face when I was asked to start with this and get it done. Thing is, well, I've had a few experiences with big projects, so I know that stressing about it doesn't make a very good success. So thing is, first step, relax, we got this. I think if we go through the steps and you actually apply that in general when you have something that is really big and you want to get it done, you can actually make it happen. Okay. First things first, prioritize. You need to challenge your idea versus all others to validate your priorities. Okay. So what you need to know about your own idea and your own project, for example, is things like, what pain am I trying to solve? What gain am I trying to get out of that? Which value am I trying to get out of doing this? What is the scope of what I'm trying to implement? So for example, I spoke about an app. Okay, I want to launch an app. Is it both on mobile, Android? Does it cover one country, multiple country, a city, or languages, one language? What is the boundaries of what is in scope and what is not? Should be very clean and limited. Otherwise, if you don't know what you're trying to reach, you can actually never get there. Another important point is who do I need to make this happen? So who are the key stakeholders, the people that I need to involve with me to ever make it happen? Who is impacted by it? So maybe you don't need them to make it happen, but you know that once you do it, they will be impacted by your idea. For example, you're changing a tool, well, you know that people will be impacted then when they will have the new interface in front of them. Then one important point is, what are the other ideas, the other priorities that I should potentially work on? And compare those. Do the same work for all your ideas and choose wisely the one that you need to work on, okay? You can choose because the pain that you're trying to solve is really so important, more than value, more than anything else, that this is what you should be focusing on. But you can choose also because, for example, you have a legal requirement, okay? So a priority out of regulations, well, then I think that priority is winning, that idea is winning. Okay, choose, prioritize, and stay very firm on your priorities. If the environment doesn't change, once you've set your priorities, remember why you did that and go for it really. So in our case, we decided that for the next 3 years, the priorities was the convergence, okay, above anything else. The second one is divide and conquer. So sometimes it seems just so big, so wide. It's a big bucket, and we don't know how to get there. Of course, I mean it's the same when we speak about personal goals. In everything we say, split it, divide it into sets of achievable steps, small steps that you know how to achieve, and one after each other, you'll actually ultimately reach your idea. But don't jump from 1 to 10. Don't go too fast because at the end of the day, you won't know where you're going. Okay. So take the time to look at your idea and divide it in smallest steps that you can think of. For the convergence, how did it look like? Well, speak about 3 regions. Okay. So the first thing we did is to split and say, I'll look first at the south and then at the north. Okay. Because it's a very big project and technically it was possible, we kind of said, okay, for South, we'll start with the member migration, so the front, B2C. And then we'll move to the B2B, more, well, the ops and the back office with logistics, finance, supply chain, all of that part. And then when those two are done, we'll move to the north. Okay. So there we had approximately 1 year, 8 months, 1 year kind of projects, in which we divided then each of them into quarters and each of them into months, which we actually called steps. Then we drove a step after each other. We didn't start working on the north convergence while the south was still ongoing. We finished one, and then the second one, and then the third one, okay? And that made it achievable within the timeline that we were given. The third point is focus. You chose a priority. You chose a road. So what I have to say is stay on that road and avoid distractions while you deliver them. So one exception to that. At one time, you decided it was a priority. And it might be, because the environment is changing, it might be that things have changed and that what you once considered a priority is not a priority anymore. In that case, it's very agile to just say, let's stop the investment. Let's stop working on it. It doesn't work. It's not what I was meant to work on. It's not adding the value. It's too late on the market. It's already outdated. Many reasons. If that happens, it's always a fair question and decision to say, is it still a priority? If not, good, you can stop working on it. No, but don't work on 5 priorities at the same time, 5 ideas at the same time, because at the end of the day, you will spend too much time inefficiently switching from one to the other one and trying to make them all happen. So we have seen that, and mostly if you are not alone, if you have teams involved in working with you on those ideas, they get lost into all those priorities falling on them, and they don't know anymore what they should be starting with. And they have everything reaching their backlogs and they don't know what to do. So make it easy for you and everyone who works with you by saying that is priority one. And only when you're done, you can move to priority two. And only when you're done with that, you can move to priority three, not at the same time. Okay. Also, if you have different teams, you want to avoid that both teams should work on one and two. And if they work at the same time and team A starts with priority one, but team B starts with priority two, then at the end of the day, you don't deliver anything for a long time. Okay. So one step at a time and one priority at a time with as much focus as you can. Avoid distractions for you and for your teams. The fourth one is people. People is key. It's the key of succeeding or not a project, initiative, or an idea. Invest a lot of time in alignment and communication. Okay, I'll jump directly to convergence examples of what we did. So we have a company of around 5,000 people, with, I would imagine, most of them being somehow impacted by the convergence because it was a very big project. At the very least, 700 people in IT, which were really working on it at different times of the years. So what we did, first of all, we needed to align the whole company. Okay, so we launched a marketing strategy around a rocket. And every time that a step was done, we would put that little yellow ticket here into the machine, and we had the whole animation going on. And every time we would fuel the rocket, step by step, fueling the rocket. And on the 11th of January this year, when we launched finally the rocket, the project was done. So we built that communication so everybody in the company in a very easy way could see how well we were doing by how the fuel was piling up in the rocket. Other ideas, well, videos with the CEO to show mandates. Well, that's specific to a very big program, of course. Also participating to company presentations, asking just 5 or 10 minutes to give a little bit of context, a little bit of progress, something about the project so people remember that that idea is being executed at the moment. No, they are aware, they kind of know, they heard about it, and that's what you need to create. People are aware about this happening. Newsletters, Slack channels where you share updates, for example. Then top management, very important. We had steercos every month. Excuse me. Steercos every month where we were presenting the status to the top management, so they would stay aligned, up to date. Especially, they knew where we needed them to help us. Okay. And then within the team, people working, we speak about maybe 70 people sometimes at the same time. In the same month, we had a unified backlog where we listed everything that was made, that we needed to make within a step. And we were doing the review meetings every week with everyone that was impacted, so they would always be aligned. We would share what everybody is working on. And you would hear if one of your colleagues is working on something that you actually needed, then you know about it and you can react on it directly. It really fastened the escalation of alerts and the collaboration between people. The last one is do everything in your power to make it happen. It's all about commitment, doing the extra mile, and being in the driver's seat. You want that idea to reach, to be executed, to reach success. Well, make it happen, push for it. Make sure you are accountable for it. Because if you're not, nobody is, and then it might actually really never happen. So yeah, commitment. And that's it for me. Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions.
That was very insightful, and it's very nice to see like how companies are actually like doing certain things that we might see it's not always the same. So, wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Actually, we've had like some comments, okay, when you were actually speaking, okay, on this way of how to do it like step at a time, for example. And I love that Iwa said, eat the elephant one bite at a time, for example. It was very motivational. I agree with the chat here regarding the rocket, okay, and how you create that sort of like team engagement way of like actually showing what everybody's working towards or what you're doing. So yeah, that was pretty fantastic. Okay, we have people actually that, for example, talking about positions. Okay, so for example, in this case, someone is looking, let's say, for an entry position as a junior UX designer. Okay, what can you tell us about, for example, this is the company open like to junior like people or junior talent? How do you, I don't know, how do you
Yeah.
actually do this sort of things?
I think that the best I can recommend for everyone is to join the booth where we will be answering more detailed questions based on the profile, because I think it's very important to understand that not every type of profile will require the same seniority. There are some roles for which we are very open to junior profile, but then we have also a lot of positions which require more seniority due to the complexity of our projects also. But there is a bit of everything. So I would say if you're interested, uh, join the booth and discuss with our people so we can help you more directly.
That is perfect. And actually, we've said so before, but I don't know, just for everybody as a reminder, actually, VP is one of these companies, and you've posted a lot of jobs on our board, and I know you guys actually have more. So it's very interesting for people, yeah, to reach out through the booth, or even like, I don't know, you guys, why we have your mails here as well. You've registered, so they can reach out to you. And I know that you're always like welcoming like people and questions and things like this. So that is perfect. Let's see if we have any other questions, or I don't know, Mari, anything that else that you would like to add, as in, you know, building on what you've said or the company in general. Of course, you're more than welcome to.
No, if there are no specific question, I think I've said my share of information.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think for now we're doing pretty great, but let me check. Okay, here we have one that says, what framework did you use? Traditional project management versus agile hybrid? So
It's
here
a
we
good
have
one.
this.
It has been a very it has been one of the most complicated challenges to well we call it now scale agile. I'm from the background of the waterfall with Accenture, where I kind of learned the project management, and today that's kind of like that for agile. I do believe in customization of approach. I don't like just implementing something. I know that a lot of people are in favor of that, but in my case, we are in an extremely big tech company which is young and dynamic. So it should keep the agile, but at the same time, we should be able to put some more structure. So there, I make my best of both worlds between what I know of the standard and the standard methodologies, and then I apply just the right level of administration based on the complexity of the project itself. I don't use tools. I've tried several tools of management, and I actually end up very often with Google Sheets, which are very practical, or Airtables, Trellos to manage my tasks. But it's very hard, and we are actually looking for it. And I'm always interested if anyone has experience in scaling agile, which is quite of a new area, and a thing many companies encounter as an issue. I'm always interested to talk about it, so feel free to reach out to me. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. I think it really helps, and especially like I said at the beginning, when you finish your presentation, every company probably does it differently, and how is it that everybody can actually, you know, align with a new company's way of doing certain things. So I think that helps. Okay, so Mali, thank you very, very much for this. And yeah, I think we have just a few minutes before our next talk, which is Welling coming up. So yeah, another lady speaking about this company, what they're doing. So just to target you both here, thank you so much. We're very grateful to have you around. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.